Welcome to Into the Darkness, where we dive into the most spine-chilling and captivating true crime stories from around the world. Each week, we take you deep into the heart of the darkest mysteries and the most notorious criminals. Our detailed narratives, gripping voiceovers, and vivid visuals will immerse you in the thrilling world of true crime. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to join our community of crime enthusiasts. Get ready to uncover the truth, face the terror, and remember, every story hides a shadow. Now, let's dive into the darkness.
The crisp winter air of New York City bit sharply against Olivia's face as she hurriedly walked towards the elegant brownstone on the Upper West Side. The December streets were bustling, but she moved with purpose, her mind set on the warm, inviting home where she worked as a nanny. Inside, the Langley residence exuded wealth and comfort, an ideal setting for a perfect life. The Langley family seemed to have it all. Nathan Langley, a successful investment banker, and his wife, Julia, a renowned art dealer, were the epitome of power and sophistication. Their infant son, Thomas, was the apple of their eye, a symbol of their perfect union. Olivia, with her immaculate resume and angelic demeanor, had seamlessly integrated into their lives, becoming indispensable to the family. But Olivia's background was more complex than the polished exterior she presented. Orphaned at a young age and shuffled through the foster care system, she had longed for stability and love. Her extensive experience with children and a deep-seated ambition led her to meticulously plan her future. She had spent years refining her skills, not just as a caregiver, but as a manipulator of trust and affection. From her very first day at the Langley residence, Olivia was a model of efficiency and care. She organized the household with military precision, managing Thomas's schedule, meal plans, and even Nathan and Julia's social calendar. Her presence allowed the Langleys to thrive in their demanding careers, confident that their son was in capable hands. What the Langleys didn't know was that Olivia had a dark side. She had spent her childhood in foster homes, where she learned to be self-reliant and manipulative. Her charming demeanor masked a deep-seated resentment towards those who had what she never did, a loving family and financial security. Olivia's plan was simple but diabolical. She would slowly poison Nathan and Julia, forging a new will that would leave their fortune and custody of Thomas to her. Olivia's plan began subtly. She slowly introduced small doses of a tasteless, odorless poison into Nathan and Julia's meals. The symptoms were mild at first: fatigue, headaches, and occasional nausea, easily attributed to their high-stress lifestyles. Olivia watched with calculated patience as their health deteriorated. The first sign of trouble came one evening when Nathan returned home from work, visibly exhausted. "I don't know what's wrong with me," he confided to Julia as he sank into the sofa. "I feel like I'm coming down with something, but it's been weeks." Julia, too, was feeling the effects. Her vibrant energy was replaced by a persistent lethargy, and her once flawless skin showed signs of pallor. "Maybe it's the winter," she suggested weakly, though a nagging doubt lingered in her mind. As Nathan and Julia's conditions worsened, they relied more heavily on Olivia. She began to forge a new will, carefully crafting it to ensure that upon their demise, custody of Thomas and the entirety of their estate would transfer to her. She was meticulous, practicing Julia's signature until it was flawless, and familiarizing herself with the nuances of legal documents to avoid suspicion. Olivia also began to isolate the Langleys. She subtly discouraged visits from friends and family, claiming that Nathan and Julia needed rest. When the couple did have visitors, Olivia made sure the guests saw only brief glimpses of them, just enough to dismiss their concerns as minor illnesses. Meanwhile, Olivia maintained her facade of the devoted nanny. She showered Thomas with affection, ensuring that he formed a strong bond with her. She played the part of the concerned caregiver perfectly, offering support to Nathan and Julia while subtly encouraging them to seek medical advice that led nowhere. Doctors were baffled, attributing their symptoms to stress or possible undiagnosed illness, never suspecting foul play. The turning point came when Julia's suspicions were piqued. A naturally curious and observant person, she started to notice inconsistencies, unexplained absences in Olivia's story, and small errors in her meticulous facade. Julia began to keep a journal documenting her observations and health issues. She confided in Nathan, and together they decided to quietly investigate. One night, after Thomas was asleep and Olivia had retired to her room, Julia approached Nathan with her findings. "I think Olivia's hiding something," she whispered, showing him the journal. Nathan was skeptical but agreed to help her gather more evidence. They installed hidden cameras and discreetly collected evidence, slowly piecing together the horrifying truth. As they watched the footage, their worst fears were confirmed. Olivia was poisoning them. Panic set in, but they knew they had to proceed cautiously. They contacted a private investigator and a trusted lawyer to prepare for a confrontation while ensuring their safety and that of their son. The investigation revealed chilling details. Olivia had ordered various poisons online using untraceable methods. The private investigator also discovered that Olivia had a history of manipulative behavior, including a string of failed relationships and jobs due to her deceitful nature. On a frigid January evening, Nathan and Julia, armed with their evidence, confronted Olivia. They expected denial, perhaps a plea for mercy, but instead they were met with a chilling calmness. Olivia's mask dropped, revealing the depths of her malice. She confessed with a twisted sense of pride, explaining her motives and plans with unnerving clarity. "You don't understand," she said, her voice icy. "I deserve this life, you didn't. You took everything for granted and now it's my turn." The legal battle that ensued was intense. The media frenzy surrounding the case brought unprecedented attention to the Langley family's ordeal. Olivia's trial became a national spectacle, with every sordid detail dissected and analyzed. The prosecution presented a watertight case supported by the damning evidence gathered by Nathan and Julia. Olivia's defense attempted to paint her as a victim of her tragic past, arguing that her actions were the result of psychological trauma. However, the jury saw through the manipulation. Olivia was found guilty of attempted murder and forgery, sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Nathan and Julia slowly recovered from their ordeal, both physically and emotionally. Their bond strengthened by their shared trauma, they vowed to create a safe and loving environment for Thomas. They became advocates for stricter background checks for caregivers and raised awareness about the signs of domestic poisoning, hoping to prevent others from suffering a similar fate. But the psychological scars remained. Nathan and Julia often experienced nightmares, reliving the moments of their poisoning and Olivia's chilling confession. Their once perfect home now felt tainted, every room a reminder of the betrayal they had endured. One night, as they were settling Thomas into bed, a sudden noise shattered the silence. A loud crash echoed from the kitchen, sending a jolt of fear through their veins. Nathan grabbed a baseball bat and cautiously approached the source of the noise, heart pounding in his chest. As he reached the kitchen, he found the window shattered, cold air pouring in. There was no sign of an intruder, but the fear lingered, a reminder of the vulnerability they now felt. The Langley family story became a cautionary tale about trust, betrayal, and the dark side of human ambition. The perfect nanny had revealed her true nature, leaving a trail of broken trust and shattered illusions in her wake. But from the ashes of their nightmare, Nathan and Julia emerged stronger, their love for each other and their son a testament to their resilience and courage. Years later, Thomas would learn about the events that transpired during his infancy. His parents' strength and determination to protect him became a cornerstone of his character. The Langley family, once again whole, continued to thrive, their stories serving as a reminder of the fragility of trust and the enduring power of love and justice. They moved to a new home, leaving behind the physical reminders of their trauma. In their new neighborhood, they found solace and a renewed sense of security. Nathan and Julia remained vigilant, their past experience making them acutely aware of the importance of trust and the potential for betrayal. Their advocacy work led to significant changes in regulations regarding caregiver backgrounds and the monitoring of their activities. They shared their story at conferences and through media interviews, emphasizing the need for awareness and caution. Thomas grew up to be a compassionate and resilient young man, deeply appreciative of his parents' strength. He pursued a career in psychology, driven by a desire to understand the human mind and help those who had experienced trauma. His parents' ordeal became a guiding force in his life, shaping his values and aspirations. The Langley family's journey from victimhood to empowerment inspired many. Their story, though rooted in pain and betrayal, ultimately became one of hope and recovery. They learned that even in the darkest moments, the bonds of love and trust could prevail, leading them to a brighter, safer future.